Derian House near Chorley. It's one of only 2 children's hospices in the northwest. It opened in 1993 and provides hospice and respite care for children who are very seriously ill and their families. This programme has been made to introduce you to the people and the place, Derian House, where there's a lot of living to do. General Manager of Derian is Trevor Briggs.
The hospice has been up and running now, taking in children since October '93. And any visitor visiting the hospital, I think, would certainly and very quickly recognise that Derian House is a very unique and tremendous community resource. We get referrals of children, families from throughout the northwest and indeed beyond. People very often ask me what is the structure within the hospice. I think it would be fair to say that we function very much as a team made up of trustees, staff and volunteers, and indeed we're extremely fortunate in the volunteers that actually work and help in the day-to-day running here at the hospice. In fact, they number in excess of 40. But equally so, I believe the team extends beyond the boundary of the actual hospice itself, because we're extremely fortunate in having committed people out in the field generating much needed funds in support of our work, people who operate and give of the time within our local charity shop and generate, I've got to say, much needed funds. We are very specialised, we are very unique in the type of care we give, and obviously to meet that demand we've got to generate a great deal of money. We have on an annual basis to raise in excess of about £670,000 per year, a large amount. And it's an amount which we've got to generate from voluntary subscription. We get no, as yet, external funding whatsoever. So we do rely very heavily on the commitment of the community, the generosity of the community. The important thing for us, of course, is that we maintain that momentum of support so that we can not only meet our commitments during the current year, but we can also look to the future and plan in advance.
It's quite amazing how one small homely building can match the many moods and needs of both children receiving care and those closest to them. The snoozle room, for instance, is an environment which uses music, light, soft furnishings and toys to soothe and relieve stress. By contrast, the pool and jacuzzi provide all the lively fun that kids love. Lynn Taylor is one of some 40 volunteer helpers.
I do a couple of days helping the house, cleaning and whatever else needs doing, and on the other day I work in the kitchen helping the cook prepare meals.
And all this is completely voluntary?
Yeah. I'm not bothered about getting paid. It's just, I just really enjoy it, and you know, I'd like to do it full time or whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't mind not getting paid. It's just, I just really enjoy it.
What reward do you get?
I get a lot of fulfilment out of it, making, like, some children haven't got long, and you know, like making the last bit of the life as happy as possible, and you know, just being there for in any way that you needed, really.
No one pretends that a hospice is all fun and games, and although few children actually end their lives here, some do. So there is a non-denominational chapel which offers comfort and support to the bereaved. The Quiet Room is a special place where parents and families can see a child who has just died in reassuring surroundings and come to terms with what's happened. Those who nurse here, like Debbie Brown and Carol Snape, provide a very special service.
A lot of the families just use us for respite care. Again, it depends very much on the family and obviously what support they get at home as well. Is they've got lots of family support. Some parents would rather sort of just use us sort of overnight or maybe for a weekend. But it depends. If the family don't have any other support other than Derian, then obviously they use us a lot more. And again, your contact system again depends on, it's all an individual thing on how much the actual family needs.
I feel quite privileged to be included in that care, you know, because they're not very well. The parents actually entrusted the children here with us. It's quite an honour, really, when they've been looking after the child themselves, and then all of a sudden they entrust them into someone else's care. So it's quite a privilege, really.
It can't be easy, since you're obviously very fond of children, within the context of a hospice, to become attached to individual children.
Well, yes, you do. I mean, that's inevitable, really, because of the caring people that we are here. You can't help but get attached to them. And it is sad when it comes perhaps to the end of the child's life. But there again, because you've been included in that, it is a privilege, and I think that's the main thing that we all keep in our minds about it.
One thing that's surprising to a visitor, expecting perhaps quiet corridors and silent children, is the boisterous happiness of the place.
Well, that's children, isn't it? That's how I think, anyway. Yeah, and it's a home from home atmosphere. So I don't think we would be sad and unhappy at home every hour of the day anyway. So if we can bring the happiness here, and they can come in and it's a holiday type for them, then I think perhaps we're doing our job right then.
You must see tremendous courage on the part of the children and their parents.
Definitely. I admire that courage, really. And because it's new to me anyway, I mean, I've never worked in a hospital, so I haven't actually come across poorly children, and it never ceases to amaze me how brave the children are, and the parents, of course, because they're going through it every day with them.
Do many of the children understand how seriously ill they are?
No. I think children are very accepting of illness and the way they are. I mean, a lot of them have been in hospital, so a lot of the time that's all they've seen. So I think they're very trusting, children are anyway, and they trust that the parents and the carers are doing the best for them anyway, so I don't think they even think how ill they are.
The Rogues Gallery reflects the robust attitude that is taken to both life and death at Derian. Behind each face there may be a sad story, but in each face, happy memories, bravery and courage. It's easy to overlook that a serious illness affects the whole family. Pat Fleming's son is a patient at Derian.
Although we only live 10 minutes down the road, it's been brilliant to be able to use flat facilities here. When we first came, it was important that we stayed with Tim and taught the staff how to cope with him. But also, with it being only 10 minutes across the park from a daughter's school, it meant we could make her breakfast and her packed lunch in the kitchenette here. And if in fact in the evening very often make a snack up here rather than going downstairs while she was doing her homework. And use it really as a home. Watch television, chat to other parents, invite other parents into your flat. You use it as your own home, so you can invite them in, have a bottle of wine, chat, discuss each other's children. Because very often it feels as if your child is the only one like this in the world before you come to a hospice. And when you chat to other parents, you see other children, you think, I couldn't possibly cope with a child like that. And they're looking at your child and thinking, how on earth does she cope with that child? And it does help to actually talk to each other and swap notes and find out what facilities that there are out there that we can actually tap, apart from Derian House, which gives us a lot of backup and support. Very often other mums will have ideas ways they've adapted their house that can help. And just sitting in a flat like this, you're quiet, you can just swap notes and have a good gossip, and it's really nice to get away from the kids. Leave those downstairs, you can have a nice time up here. The bedrooms next door are excellent. I've had very comfortable nights. The bliss is actually to have a full night's sleep.
Now, Tim is not resident all the time, is he?
No, none of the children are resident all the time. You just come here literally for respite, or if the child's acutely ill and you need the nursing support to help you rather than going into hospital. It gives you the support and help in a more home-like environment. People tend to think of the word hospice as the tail end of a person's life and the last area, the last place that you call in. That's particularly true of adult hospices, but children's hospices aren't the same, because children are diagnosed with a life-threatening condition. It's life-threatening, and you know they've only got a short length of time to live, but that length of time might be 12, 19 years, which is a long time to cope with the situation. You're not at crisis point all the time, but you do need the respite, you need the support, and they go through acute critical times when they need a lot of nursing care, and that's when you use Derian House to help back up the services that are available in hospital, because hospitals aren't the place for sick children, really.
Another extraordinary aspect of Derian House is the part it continues to play for many families long after tragedy has struck. This poem was written by Anne Davis in 1993. There is a place, a special place, where children come for care and fun. It's here the children of this world can come to rest, along with Mum. This special place is Derian House, where love is shared with everyone. So come on in, look around, and feel the happiness in the air. Meet the people working here and see their tender care. Marie Brown's son, Stephen, died some 12 months ago.
We were told of Derian House at the hospital we were in at Pendlebury. We have a Macmillan nurse who made us aware of the facilities that were available for us at Derian House. We'd heard about it before, obviously locally, with fundraising, but we'd not actually had cause to come here. And she suggested that we come for a visit, just so that we could see what it was like. And then maybe we should, if we felt the need, we could come and use that.
It was your son, Stephen, wasn't it, who came here?
Yes, that's right. Stephen had been ill for quite some time. He had a Ewing's tumour, which hadn't responded to treatment. And when we found out that Stephen's life was limited, we had various options, and one of which was to come and use Derian House.
What was your experience when you came here?
I was amazed, quite frankly. We'd come quite prepared to not criticise, but grill the people here, because it's quite a difficult decision to actually hand over the care of your child to somebody else without knowing how they were going to be received and what level of care you would expect. And we'd also promised Stephen that he wouldn't die in hospital, that he would be at home or in a home environment. And I think if I'd seen a uniform or anything that remotely reminded me of hospital, that would have been it. I don't think we would have come, because I know Stephen wouldn't have felt very comfortable, and I don't think it would have been right, really.
What did you find?
Something that looked very much like the home. Carpets and curtains and lots of flowers and pictures, children, and obviously a very warm welcome. There was no uniforms and no obvious hospital equipment, and the pool, of course, which greets you as you come through the door. And I just felt very much at home.
Derian is special in the sense that it welcomed the rest of the family, didn't it? Not just Stephen.
Yes, that's right. I think, however much hospitals strive, they can't, obviously, through to limited space, have everybody there. We felt it was extremely important for Stephen to be surrounded by his family, and I think that's one of the main things of Derian House. They see you as a unit, a family unit. It's not just mum, dad and the sick child, it's mum, dad, brothers and sisters, aunties, uncles, grandmas, granddads. We even brought our gerbils, you know. Stephen had to have his gerbils with him, so they came too. And it does make a big difference. I think if we hadn't been able to be together, I don't know whether we would have come. We just sort of moved in en bloc. There was our family of 5, including Stephen, and my mum, my sister and her husband, my brother and his wife, and various other people coming and going. People who you would have seen at home under normal circumstances came and visited us here. So Stephen was surrounded by people who loved him and who he knew well. That's, I think, the major thing was the fact that you could be a family, that we could have time to spend with Stephen. Now, say we nursed him at home, and as he became increasingly ill, it took over more and more time, the nursing care, the medical side of things, preparing his medication and administering it, and just generally seeing to him, and it became a 24-hour occupation. There was no time left to be his mum, to sit and talk to him and spend time with other children, because that's vitally important for them to feel included. As you can imagine, it's a very traumatic time, and they need time as well. And we didn't have it. It was time to be a parent and not a nurse anymore, and Derian House gave us the opportunity to do that.
You all needed very special forms of support from Derian, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And you appear to have had them.
Yes, definitely. I think, again, that's something unique, the fact that we get aftercare. There's the care team are always there. You can phone, you can visit. Somebody will talk to you. You usually get a job, but there's always somebody there who will talk to you, advise you. If they can't give you the help you need, they will put you in touch with somebody who can.
The family atmosphere at Derian is down to the whole team. As general manager, it's Trevor Briggs who has the job of making sure that Derian has a secure future, and that is no easy task.
There are many ways people can help, many ways people are helping in the community, generating funds, supporting us in different ways. Volunteers helping in our shop, people help in different ways. People help the way they perhaps feel comfortable in helping. There are many ways, but obviously an overriding feature of our existence is the need to raise money. Raise money not just for the present, but indeed equally important to raise money for the future, so that we can develop and meet the demands of that's now been placed upon us, of course.
At the private and individual level, £670,000 a year seems an immense sum of money, and of course it is. But at the end of the day, presumably, even individual households can help. They don't have to sign cheques for vast amounts.
Oh, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. As I say, many people can help in different ways and do help in different ways. Individuals can obviously make an individual donation to our work, but equally so, they can come along and enjoy the many events that have been organised throughout the community in support of Derian House. There are lots of different ways people can help, and we need to bring more and more people on board in a fundraising capacity.
Do you have things like covenant schemes?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, and that is an area we're hoping to develop. A number of people make a very regular contribution, obviously, via covenant, yes.
Optimism is very much the mood of Derian House. Are you optimistic about its future?
Oh, yes. I don't believe that you can work in Derian House and not be optimistic. That is, I think, almost a prerequisite of an individual working in Derian House, be it a member of staff, be it a trustee, be it a volunteer. You've got to be optimistic, and the feel of the place is optimistic, is hope.
So there you have it. Derian House provides relief from mental and physical stress for children at a sad time of life when they desperately need it. But Derian House itself is in constant need of help, each and every day, week, month, year. There is no doubt that if you visited Derian House, you would be moved, not to tears, but to provide as much help as you possibly can to support the vital work that's being done. No contribution is too small or too large, but it could be too late. £670,000 a year is a tough target, but please help us to meet it and beat it, because Derian House has a lot of living to do.